So it's been a long time since the last true 2D Metroid game has been released, you know, Metroid Zero Mission, and it's been a long time, so I got wondering, what are a couple things that I would like to see inside a Metroid game that is 2D? You know, we had a 3D Metroid game very recently in Metroid Prime Federation Force, we had a 2.5D a couple years ago, but 2D. So I got wondering, and I decided to make a list, you know, my 5 favorite things I like to see inside the next 2D Metroid game, or I want to see. Keep in mind these are my opinions and something I want to see in the next 2D Metroid game. If you have your own opinion, feel free to put it in the comment section. And that being said, let's get started. So the first thing I want to see in the next 2D Metroid game would probably be something similar to Hyper Mode inside the Metroid Prime games. You know in Metroid Prime when Samus got infused with Phazon and now she has the ability to go Hyper Mode and she has like hyper versions of her old weapons, Hyper Beams, Hyper Missiles, Hyper Grapple and all that. I would like to see that inside the next 2D game. Now for perspective, the Metroid games doesn't really have that much weaponry in mind. You have your missiles and super missiles, you have your morph ball bombs and your power bombs, but all we have really is the beam weapons. And sure, the beam weapon does get upgrades like charge beam, plasma beam, wave beam, wide beam, but really, wouldn't it be cool if we had the option to have like a hyper beam? Similar to on Metroid 3 we had the hyper beam as a boss fight, or Metroid Prime 3 we had the hyper beam as a mode. It would be cool near the end of the game you find like the ultimate weapon, the hyper beam, and it probably costs like, let's say half of Samus' health to use it for a short period of time, or maybe the hyper beam will actually use actual ammo and very little bit of ammo to help people conserve or restrain themselves from overusing it too much, because I don't want the hyper beam to be some sort of, oh, go hyper mode and kill everything with no ease. I want there to be a challenge, so maybe like cutting half of Samus' health, or maybe having very little ammo to actually use it wildly would be a pretty cool thing to see inside the Metroid games. But also, you know, missiles and super missiles, morph ball bombs and power bombs, we kind of need a super version of the normal beam missiles. It just kind of seems strange without it, really. Now the second thing I want to see inside a 2D Metroid game will probably be a revamped version of the Visor System. Now for those who don't know, the Visor System actually originated in Super Metroid. Yeah, it's kind of weird, most of the people associate the Visor System with Metroid Prime, but really Super Metroid was the first one. It was very dumb though, it was like an x-ray visor and you had to scan around the room to find hidden blocks. Ever since the Prime series, the visor has been a really cool little tool to explore and enhance the environments you're in. In the Prime games you used thermal visors to find enemies hidden in the shadow, you used x-ray visor to find hidden pathways and ghost-like enemies. So I thought it would be cool to use like some sort of weird visor system inside the next 2D Prime game. There probably wouldn't be a scan visor because I feel like scanning is very dedicated to Prime series, and scanning inside a 2D plane kind of seems boring and repetitive and not really intuitive. But you know, you can use like the visor to probably like have an x-ray vision to see the whole screen you're in with an x-ray perspective. You find hidden blocks. You can probably use something like the thermal visor to find hidden weak points inside big enemies. It would just be pretty cool to have some sort of cool little visor system. It wouldn't really change Samus' point of view like how it worked in Super Metroid. It probably just changed the whole screen because it would be a lot more simpler. And in my opinion, I think that would be a cool little thing to add in. So number 3, I kind of want to see Samus stick to one planet. In Metroid Prime 3 and Hunters, Samus always planet hop to different planets to explore and all that. In my opinion, when you planet hop, it kind of ruins the whole immersion of exploring huge world. I mean sure, when you explore different planets, there is diversity because you know you can make every planet uniquely different, but at the same time, in a 2D Metroid game, it's always so fun exploring wherever you're at, whether it's a huge planet or a huge research station. And if you're gonna break that up into different worlds, it kind of feels disconnected. And if you break these worlds up too much, it might be too small to actually feel like a world, and it might just feel very linear and boring. So basically, I want a big world. I don't want small disconnected worlds. I want a big planet to explore. Now number 2, In Metroid games, there's always a lot of armors you can put on. You can have the basic power armor, then you can upgrade that with the Varia suit or gravity suit. In the Metroid Prime games, you have stuff like the PED upgrade and the dark suit and light suit. But there's something that we rarely get to use, and it's the Zero suit. Now, in Metroid Zero Mission, the Zero suit was the best thing to happen inside a post-game Metroid game. It was surprisingly fun. You beat the game and you're fully upgraded, then out of nowhere you lose it all, and now you're forced to do this cool stealth section. You're just hiding through the vents, trying to survive. It was surprisingly surprisingly pretty cool. I thought it would have been extremely bad to ruin all your upgrades and having to start all over below square one just to try to get your upgrades back, but it was surprisingly fun. It really made the gameplay a little bit more diverse. It kind of broke off the repetitiveness, and as a reward you got a superior power suit for it. So I thought it would be a cool thing to implement this inside the next 2D Metroid game. You're exploring through a planet, you find a space pirate base, and you have the option to remove your power suit and go sneak in, or maybe you have the option to just go in guns blazing, and both options may be seen as viable, but because you have the option to go sneaking in, it could be a pretty cool way to break off the repetitiveness, mix things up. It would be a cool little change of pace. You have an option to go sneaking in, you have an option to change the gameplay if you want to, and I think that would be a cool little thing for the 2D Metroid games. Now for the last 4 points, I've mentioned stuff about gameplay mechanics, bigger world, zero suit segments, beams and all that, but I didn't mention anything about story, and this is what number 1's going to be about. Number 1, I want the story to continue off from Metroid Fusion. Since 2002, Metroid Fusion was put at the very end of the timeline, and since then, nothing has gone past it. Sure, there's been sequels and prequels, but nothing got past Metroid Fusion in the timeline. 2002! That's a long time to have us waiting for an answer. At the end of Metroid Fusion, Samus is a renegade now, and I don't know what's going to happen after this game. Is Samus going to destroy the Galactic Federation? Is she going to team up with space pirates? Is she going to find the Chozos? I don't know, because the timeline doesn't continue off from Metroid Fusion. We just have more games that are prequels and sequels to other games. Oh, Metroid Other M, that's going to be a prequel to Metroid Fusion. Oh, well, Metroid Prime Federation Force, that's going to be a sequel to Prime 3. Now, I don't mind if Nintendo makes a sequel or prequel to another game, but I just want answers for Metroid Fusion. I've heard rumors about Metroid Dread and how Nintendo was planning to make that game, but instead they chose Luigi's Mansion 2, or how they had the script ready since 2006. But I don't know if any of it is true, so until then, I just gotta wait for the next 2D Metroid game to continue off from Metroid Fusion. So what do you guys think? Is my opinion for the 5 things I want inside a Metroid 2D game valid, and is it good? Or do you have your own opinions? Maybe you want your own thing inside a Metroid game, like a skill tree or open world or something like that. Either way, I would love to hear your own opinions, and if you like this video, feel free to share it among all your friends. It could be your Metroid friends, it could be your best friends. Heck, if your own pet likes watching videos, feel free to put this video on for him, because dogs and cats like videos too. And if you like Metroid content in general, feel free to subscribe, because I do plan on making more Metroid videos. That being said, I'm the Metroid Trainer. If you like this video, good on you, because I'll be seeing you next time.